Imagine waking up one morning, pulling back your curtains, and instead of the familiar blue sky, you're greeted by an awe-inspiring display of shimmering, colorful rings spanning the horizon. This would be the new reality if Earth had rings like Saturn. How would these rings transform life on our planet? Let's explore this mesmerizing possibility. First, let's consider how these rings might appear in the sky. Unlike Saturn's rings, which are primarily composed of ice and rock particles, Earth's rings could have unique features due to our proximity to the Sun and the influence of Earth's atmosphere. Depending on their composition, the rings might sparkle with vibrant hues, reflecting sunlight in dazzling patterns. From different locations on Earth, the view of the rings would vary. Near the equator, they would appear as a colossal arch stretching across the sky. Closer to the poles, the rings might form a shimmering halo above the horizon. The presence of rings would significantly alter our perception of time and space. Nights would no longer be completely dark. Even without the moon, the rings would reflect enough sunlight to create a perpetual twilight, casting soft, ethereal glows across the landscape. This could profoundly impact ecosystems, particularly nocturnal animals, which rely on darkness for survival. Humans too might adapt to this new lighting, potentially changing sleep patterns and cultural practices. The rings would also influence weather patterns. They could act as a partial shield against sunlight, especially in equatorial regions, leading to cooler temperatures in those areas. Conversely, the ring's shadow could create localized cooling effects, potentially altering wind currents and precipitation patterns. Scientists would need to study these changes to predict how the rings would reshape global climate systems. Beyond the physical and environmental changes, Earth's rings would have a profound cultural and psychological impact. Imagine how art, literature, and religion would evolve in a world where the sky itself is a masterpiece. The rings could become a symbol of unity, inspiring humanity to see itself as part of a vast and interconnected cosmos. Entire festivals might be dedicated to celebrating their beauty, with rituals and traditions centered around their colors and movements. The future is not just about grand visions, though. What if you visited your own life decades from now? Would you meet your older self, weathered by time and experience? Could you bear to witness your triumphs and failures laid bare? And if you discovered something tragic, a loss, a mistake, would you try to change it, knowing the risks of meddling with time's intricate balance? Some say time travel is impossible because of paradoxes, the dreaded grandfather paradox chief among them. What happens if you go back in time and prevent your own existence? Does the universe collapse in on itself, unable to reconcile the contradiction? Or does it simply sidestep the issue, creating a parallel timeline where both realities coexist? And if that's the case, what happens to you? Are you trapped in this new thread of reality, or can you ever return home? The multiverse theory offers an intriguing possibility. Every decision, every action, spawns a new universe where a different outcome unfolds. If you travel back and alter something, perhaps you're not changing your own timeline, but creating an entirely new one. But then, what becomes of your original world? Does it continue without you, or does it depend on your presence to exist? And how do you live with the knowledge that every choice you make creates countless new realities, each diverging further from the one you left behind? Perhaps the most haunting question is not what happens to the fabric of time, but what happens to you. How do you remain grounded when you've untethered yourself from the flow of now? How do you make sense of your place in a universe where the rules are so easily bent? And how do you bear the weight of knowing, seeing, what others can only dream or dread? Time travel might also force us to confront our deepest fears and desires. What if you could revisit a moment of personal regret, a choice you'd give anything to undo? Would you have the courage to face it, knowing the stakes? Or would you become trapped in a cycle of trying to perfect an imperfect past? And if you did succeed, would the person you are now even recognize the life you've reshaped? The allure of time travel is undeniable. Who wouldn't want to meet their ancestors, glimpse the wonders of the distant future, or correct the mistakes of the past? But maybe the real lesson is this: time's power lies not in its manipulability, but in its mystery. Perhaps we're not meant to shape it, but to cherish it as it is, fleeting, unpredictable, and beautifully imperfect. So, what would really happen if you could time travel? Maybe the better question is, should you? And if you did, would you ever see the world or yourself the same way again? In the end, perhaps time travel isn't just a journey through moments, but a journey into the heart of what it means to be human, to love, to lose, to wonder, and to accept the fleeting beauty of now.